I was raised as an only child in a single parent home, and with a mom who supported me emotionally 100%. I wasn't successful in high school for many factors. Number one, we didn't have any money. We were living paycheck to paycheck. My mom was working very long hours. Number two, she was working long hours. I mean, I didn't see her at all. So I didn't have anyone to make sure I was getting my homework done, to make sure where I was. I absolutely wanted to succeed in school. I've always wanted to succeed in school, and I had a really hard time. And I remember not understanding the math, and my mom knew nothing about math. And she couldn't afford tutoring. I remember several times just saying, why can't I succeed? You know, what's wrong? You know, why isn't this working for me? Well, I married and I was in an abusive relationship for 10 years. There was a time that he stuck a gun to my head, and I could see my 2-year-old son watching that. And I thought, I don't want him to think that I believe in this kind of relationship. He needed to know I didn't believe in this. And by me staying there, I'm basically telling him I'm conceding to this type of relationship and that this is the way you treat a woman. And I made a conscious decision right then and there, with no money, no job, that it was over. I was helping my daughter do all of her paperwork to go to TCC, when all of a sudden I started crying because I felt so bad that I could not provide her an education. I then went, well, why? Why can't I? Well, I don't have an education myself. So it was at that point, looked around and I said, God, if this is your will, let the doors open, let it be known. Doors open like you wouldn't believe. One day I get an email from Catholic Charities. Want to know if I was interested in having a mentor help me stay on course. And I mean, just reading the title, Stay the Course, you have no idea how bad I needed that. Because if anyone was going to have obstacles coming their way to not stay the course, it was going to be me. But I had no idea what gift God gave me. My navigator literally told me all the steps to take to just get to class. I mean, I'm a mom of 4. Okay, let's lay out their clothes the night before. Why don't you try this tip? Why don't you try that tip? She text messaged me, are you getting here today on time? Don't forget this, don't forget that. She had to help me with each individual class. She had to help me with all my emotional needs and financial support. All the resources in one spot. Because of my navigator being there with me, honestly, I was able to see each goal that I had, fine-tune when it got a little wacky, get back on track, and stay the course. And I ended up completing all of my classes with a cumulative GPA of 3.8. I'm looking really good for the future. I was accepted into SMU, TCU. I was invited to go to Harvard and Columbia. I chose UNT. The difference between now and the previous time attempting college, I had somebody right here helping me. You're talking about having a person who believes in you when no one else is there.
I was born in a third world country in Central Asia, and I'd rather not name it for the safety of my relatives who are still there. The country is under dictatorship, and people don't really control the wealth in there. And I like to believe it's getting better eventually, but there's still a lot of work to do. The reasons for living were as simple as better life, just escaping poverty and authoritarian regime. We wanted better education and job opportunities. We wanted something more. So we had to escape illegally. And we just hopped on the train and took off, hoping that nobody catches us. And We lived in Russia for 10 years. My mother only could hold jobs that paid under the table, and those are not high-paying jobs. You know, we were doomed to be in poverty. My sister and I always went to school. Education has been always a priority in my family. Every time we moved to a new location, the first thing my mother did was go find a school, the best school in the region, and then bribe the teachers and the principal to take us in illegally. My mother is a very strong person. She's in fact one of the strongest people I've ever seen in my life. She's always had that internal fire. She's always been a fighter. She raised my sister and I all alone in a new country, full of strangers, completely new culture, new way of thinking, new language, and she had to survive and make sure that we survive as well. And we were finally able to come to the United States as refugees from our country of origin. When my mom found out that we were coming to the United States, she was thrilled. She was ready to go. Like, we were given about 10-day notice before we took off from Moscow, and we did not hesitate a second. And we immediately packed our stuff and we were on the way. We got off the plane and we're scared. It's a whole new country, new language, new society. How are we gonna talk to anybody like without even knowing the language? And we see a caseworker for Catholic Charities Fort Worth. And he took us to our ready apartment with a full fridge, set beds, everything ready to go. They put my sister and I into school and helped my mother get a first job. And also helped us learn English through ESL classes. Catholic Charities helped us with naturalization classes, helped us with the technical process of becoming a citizen in the United States. I felt like I have a country now, because for many years before then, I was not a citizen of anywhere. I did not exist in the system anywhere, you know what I mean? And at this point, I was valid. My existence was valid. Catholic Charities was the organization that brought us here and helped us integrate into society enough so we can stand on our feet without having to rely on anybody else. And at the moment, I am about to graduate from Rhodes College, Memphis, Tennessee, on a full ride. My sister just recently got accepted to TCU, also on a full ride. And my mother is a certified teacher at Pascal High School. And I think Catholic Charities was one of the essential elements, one of the crucial elements to our success. Because Catholic Charities helped my family get out of poverty, I really believe in the mission. And therefore, I came back and I want to be part of this mission. I had an opportunity to intern with Catholic Charities. I hopped around different departments and saw how different organs of the organization work. Now I'm interning closer to the administration. I would not be where I am right now if the United States did not accept me as a refugee and Catholic Charities did not help me integrate into the society. I'm definitely very grateful, and I just hope to carry on Catholic Charities' legacy. And we just came to conquer the American dream, you know? And we're not going to settle for anything less.